pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Katie.
Wyatt.
Here.
Sedell.
Here.
Bunce.
Present.
Reister.
Here.
Engel.
Engel's got an excused absence. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 4-0. Motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes moving the second council meeting in May to the 29th because the 28th is Memorial Day.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
That's on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
FYI, attorney's leave.
That's what I'm looking right now.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Mayor's comments. Welcome to the UNI students.
Can we also say thank you to everybody that participated? There's some people that individually held an Earth Day cleanup
I was
yesterday
gonna say the same thing too.
around our city park. Our city guys left out some bags for them to fill up, and thank you so much for
They kinda went around the school and.
in the
seemed
park, and the trail, and the Cedar Valley cyclists from Waterloo cleaned the trail from Hudson all the way to downtown Waterloo, so we appreciate everybody's efforts with that.
Thanks for bringing
What
that
are
up.
UNI students doing? Just checking out a city council meeting, or
Spying on you guys.
public policy students or something?
For leisure, it'd be for Christopher Kowalski's management and LYHS class.
Well, extra credit?
Yep.
Good for you.
Well, welcome. We try not to be as long as the city council meetings in Cedar Falls.
Try not.
I told them it's good they weren't here 2 weeks ago. They had 4.5 minutes, you don't find much.
Yeah.
We've got a week coming up, so I'll read a proclamation for Municipal Clerks Week, May 6th through the 12th, 2018. Whereas the office of the municipal clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world. And whereas the office of the municipal clerk is the oldest among public servants. And whereas the office of the municipal clerk provides the professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and agencies of government at other levels. And whereas municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. Whereas the municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community. Whereas municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of the municipal clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, provincial, county, and international professional organizations. Whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the office of the municipal clerk. Now therefore, I, George Wessel, Mayor of Hudson, Iowa, do recognize the week of May 6th through May 12th, 2018 as Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend appreciation to our municipal clerk, Chrissy Wiersma, and our deputy municipal clerk, Katie Bating, and to all municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent, dated this 23rd day of May, 2018.
Such as April. 23rd day of April.
Oh yeah, did I say May?
Yeah.
Well, it reads April right here.
Read what you want, not what it says.
And thank you, Katie.
Thank
And Chrissy
you.
in her
Welcome.
absence. Okay. Committee reports and recommendations. Public Works, Scott, from the meeting April 11th, 2018.
Yes, sir. We approved another Girl Scout Gold Award project, which will be an exercise stretching station. It'll be located along the bike trail. We also approved directors for the Kids Adventure Program and the baseball softball coordinator. Approved the purchase of the uniforms or t-shirts and the coaches' shirts. And then we discussed and approved updating our collector system for the water meters and installing a second collector in the northern tier area. And then we approved, in addition to that, the support from Ferguson for that system. And adjourned at 7:49.
Any questions for Scott? Thanks, Scott. Other Mayor's Task Force meeting, April 17th, 2018. You've got the minutes from that. Basically gave the updates to the task force, all the developments we've got going on, updates on the Twin Oaks, predominantly the fact that they're gonna hope to have grading starting in May. We did get the construction drawings in and have reviewed them at the staff level. We've got city engineer doing the final review of those.
And did we get word that 6 of the 10 lots have been sold
That's what I've heard.
of the 1 acre?
Yep, of the ones on the Ranchero.
Yep.
Beaver's Edition was given, and we've got that on the agenda for today as far as the next phase where he's constructing some condo units. Tony's Plumbing and Heating, Kurt has sold one of his lots to Tony's Plumbing and Heating, and they're gonna be coming in with plans for that acreage, especially to start with a temporary use permit for some parking. Dr. Power Sports updated with where we're at on that, still slow progression on that project. Bill Clausen has submitted plans that are going to be going to the Planning and Zoning Commission on, I think, the 17th of April, or May, which will be 81 lots, basically just east of the St. Tim's and Blackhawk Mutual, directly south of, they join the Whitetail Ridge, the big yellow spot, so. And he wants to start doing some movement of dirt yet this year. We're working with him on, as far as any development agreement. Instead of being a rebate agreement, it may be us installing some of the curb and gutter to extend Eldora Road, and then assistance on the stormwater retention pond. R6 zoning district, we updated the group with that we've been, got that approved. Kate updated everybody on the splash pad project, as well as her attending some Cedar Valley Alliance meetings that I'm most appreciative for her showing up. And she says I owe her. And then with Bob Stevenson's departure, retirement, we've given Chrissy Wiersma as zoning administrator a voting position on that task force. And also I contacted Tony Voss to fill the open position, and he has agreed to serve. So it'd be good to have Superintendent Voss on that. And then Kate's got something going on at Public Works about some bike
Public safety.
coalition, public safety. Any questions on any of those notes? Okay, public hearing. Open the public hearing on the proposed amendment to Hudson Northern Tier Commercial Urban Renewal Area. Katie, do we have any written comments? Do we have any oral comments from the floor? Jim?
Question? Thanks for all the work, a lot of great new developments going on. And thanks to Kurt, I know you started off with there was nothing but bare ground up there. And a couple of us that got, we've done that, what, 4.5, 5 years ago to help get that going, we're real happy about it. This particular agreement is great, and I'm hoping after this one we can look at putting some infrastructure in with it, because right now I think this agreement's gonna rebate back a little over $1 million.
No.
Based on the way it's written. Maybe it's just the way it's written, it just adds up
What's
that
written
way.
is it's adding $1 million of value, and the maximum tax rebate's $250,000, and actually that's not the public hearing we opened yet.
Okay, so which public hearing is this?
The first one, which is the amendment to the Northern Tier Commercial Urban Renewal Area.
Okay, so I'm talking about the one with the development on that, so.
Yeah, so hang on a
I can hang on to that one, sure.
Any other comments? I'll close the public hearing. Now I'll open the public hearing on the proposed development agreement with Jennifer and Kurt Beavers.
Okay, so this is the one I'm talking about on this, so. At any rate, I'm hoping that in the future, we can get some sort of breakdown on what's the rebate for and how does the payback come? Because it would be really good, especially when we have condos and things, if we can get the sewer and water extended over there. So that, because until you do, there's never anything there. And if you can use the dollars to pay for that sewer and water, that helps them reduce the cost of sewer and water for everybody else in town. So I guess the question I'm asking is how will this affect infrastructure today, or does it affect it at
It's
all?
not effective.
So there's none of the
Over there, we do not have water and sewer. It's not cost effective to pull it for what's there. It will be rural water
Correct, we've already put that in,
and septic systems.
that's correct.
Okay, so just for the record, that's the other question. So we now have rural water in the city limits of Hudson?
Oh, we have had it for many years, I've told you that before.
I don't think so. I think it's
Oh,
only,
you now know it. It is in, and we have approved the installation of rural water in multiple places.
But
You got
this-
any other you got
this
any
is
other
my-
questions on this particular thing?
yes,
Okay?
I do. So the rural water that comes in is crossing city lots to get into Hudson. Before it was just on lots that have joined outside of rural. Which is state law, that's not a problem. I guess what I'm saying now, the rural water is actually extending across lots and into city non-adjoining rural, is that correct? Is that what you're saying?
The water that is, the rural water that is run there, that's private, it comes off of Ranchero Road and it runs to the north, connecting those.
So Kurt, you actually own the infrastructure that goes to them?
That's correct.
Okay, that's all.
Okay.
The reason I wanted to bring that up and let Kurt mention that is because that way we're not out of compliance. Kurt understands that that's his infrastructure to maintain
Correct.
over to that, and that solves a lot of
Which has been the
future.
understanding he and I have had.
And-
I
and
wasn't
we-
sure what your question was.
Yeah, but the reason that that's important is because there have been battles where people will say, I demand to have that and I want the city to pay for that.
And
So-
we had to pay,
Yeah.
we had to pay out of our own pocket.
Yeah.
to get that.
Thanks. And Kurt, can you say that one more time? You guys paid for that, all right?
Yes, correct. We had to pay for it.
Thanks very much. I just wanted to get that on the
Okay.
record because that's an important thing. Thank you, Kurt.
Any other comments? Katie, do we have anything in writing? Okay, I'll close the public hearing. Okay, general government, we don't have any ordinances, so I won't read that. First and second reading stuff. Item A, discussion action to approve resolution 2367, a resolution to approve the urban renewal plan amendment for the Hudson Northern Tier Commercial Urban Renewal Area. And that is specifically on adding Panther Storage Phase 4 into that urban renewal area.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion. Roll call.
Just a second.
We'll give you an extra few seconds.
Okay. Wyatt,
Aye.
Buns,
Aye.
Stabell,
Aye.
Reister.
Aye.
Approved 4-0.
Taught you how to say my name.
How do you say it?
That's right, that's right. No one ever gets it right.
Item B, discussion action to approve resolution 2368, a resolution approving development agreement Phase 4 with Jennifer and Kirk Evers, authorizing annual appropriation tax increment payments and pledging certain tax increment revenues to the payment of the agreement. And you've got the agreement there, and what it is adding $1 million of value for that Phase 4, a 10-year 70% tax rebate not to exceed $250,000, which is in accordance with other rebate agreements we've been making recently.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Wyatt,
Aye.
Stabell,
Aye.
Buns,
Aye.
Reister.
Aye.
Approved 4-0. Item C, discussion action to approve resolution 2369, a resolution for approval of contract services employment agreement for the city of Hudson, Iowa for the position of summer baseball, softball director, and kids adventure director as recommended by Park and Rec. And did that go through Public Works as well?
Public Works, yep.
Okay,
So moved.
Second?
discussion. Roll call.
Reister.
Aye.
Buns,
Aye.
Stabell,
Aye.
Wyatt,
Aye.
Approved 4-0. Item D, discussion action to approve resolution 2370, a resolution to appoint Park and Rec board members. A little explanation on this. We had 2 terms coming up for ending in April of 2018. We went back to the actual ordinance that establishes it. It had been set up as 4-year terms, and according to ordinance, it's 3-year terms. The other, from discussion with Park and Rec Commission, they felt rather than terms ending in April, which is right at the start of the hefty season,
Yeah.
that we make them a different time. So what these have done is they include 3 people whose terms were expiring. It was Jill, Melissa, and Lindsay. So they have agreed to re-up, and we're recommending their approval, and I set those up then at December 31st of 2020.
Good time.
Diana Roush moved her from an April 2020 into a December 2019, and Brandon Schoberg, instead of 2019, His end date is now December 31st of 2018, so I'm looking for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Reister.
Aye.
Wyatt.
Aye.
Bunce.
Aye.
Stabell.
Aye.
4-0.
Thank you to them for wanting to help out with our kids'
Yes, most definitely.
programs.
Item E, discussion action to approve resolution 2371, resolution to set a public hearing to approve the request of Steve and Joanna Hawk to rezone approximately 3 acres from A1 Suburban Agricultural District to R6 Single Family Residential District. And this is for setting the public hearing on May 14th. You've already got in your packets information from planning and zoning of recommending that the approval be, but now we set the public hearing for the 14th.
What's the rough address?
It's Butterfield and Ranchero, isn't it?
Yeah, just west of
Essentially?
Butterfield and Ranchero.
Thank you.
Up by that,
55,
Water
24
entrance.
Ranchero.
He's
What
got
is it?
He's got
5524 Ranchero.
Thank you.
So moved.
second.
Discussion.
I know this is for a public hearing, but I'm just curious. It's at approximately 3 acres? It must be slightly over 3 acres?
It's right on the nose at 3 acres.
And will this be the first usage of R6?
Yes, it will
Awesome.
be. And what they're gonna have to do is there's a building that actually goes across the lines that they're split, so they also included a easement agreement to have usage of the building and actually have a door to get into it. They had to add that. I don't know if it came into play on the easement agreement, but eventually they'll probably take that down.
Yeah, I think it was the long-term plan as it goes by, is my understanding.
So what it'll
I
do is-
asked about the easement specifically.
It'll add another residence in that 3 acres, so we get a tax base.
Okay.
And they will connect rural water at their own connection. And because they're 1.5 acres, they can now have septic system down to that size, as we've done in the discussions on R6.
Say that last part again?
Pardon?
What was that last part?
The fact that approved for the R6.
What about 1.5 acres?
1.5, it used to be that you had to be at least 3 acres to have a septic system,
Uh-huh.
but Blackhawk County changed the regulations to now you can have a septic system that's as small as 1.50 acres.
Okay.
And I had a motion and a second already?
Yep.
Roll call.
Stabell.
Aye.
Reister.
Aye.
Wyatt.
Aye.
Bunce.
Aye.
4-0. Item F, discussion action to approve resolution 2372, a resolution to approve the bid from Ferguson Waterworks for the city of Hudson, Iowa. Part of this is equipment, part of it is annual software as reviewed and recommended by Public Works, correct?
Correct.
This is the collector systems and all that good
Yep.
stuff. So moved.
One second.
Discussion?
What was the price?
Total price $28,177, of which 16,500 is equipment. The rest of it's about 11,500 a year in maintenance for the entire collector system. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Wyatt.
Aye.
Stabell.
Aye.
Bunce.
Aye.
Reister.
Aye.
4-0. Information items, there's 5 of them in your packets. Reminder items, regularly scheduled meetings held at the council chambers except the electric board and library board. Public safety, April 26th at 4 p.m. Mayor's task force, May 15th at 4:45 p.m. Public Works, May 16th at 7 a.m. Personnel Admin Finance Committee will be May 21st, not the 29th that was in there. So it'll be May 21st at 4:45 p.m. Next council meetings, May 14th at 6 p.m. and May 29th, a Tuesday at 6 p.m.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Hey, we did an under on the 6:32. Thanks for attending.
No problem.
Any off-the-record questions? Okay.
If you will, if you serve on a small town city council sometime in your life, you will have arrived. I mean, that's the mark of success.
We've got that on our recording.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, Kurt.
Thanks,
Aye,
Kurt.
Kurt, thank you.
It just raises